Okay, so I've shown you how to use edges and TurboSmooth to get a higher res thing. Now I'm going to show you how to do that in two different ways. And honestly, it's not really a big deal which way you go for this case. And then I'm going to show you on next week, we're going to go over how to do it in ZBrush. And you may just choose that one. You may choose this one. We'll see. Eventually, we're going to go into ZBrush with this case. But for now, I'm going to show you these two new ways so you can look at them. And you can decide which one's better for you. So before we do that, though, I want to show you a few things. So if we come into Front and we push plus, we go to Configure Viewports. Inside Configure Viewports, you'll see this tab that says Statistics. We want to turn on triangle count, frames per second, turn it off. I don't really care about vertex count because there's a way to check it, so I just say Apply and say OK. Now, whenever I push 7, this shows up. It shows me the total poly counts, the total try counts, and whatever I have selected, the try and poly counts. So what I have selected is 3,688 tries. If I select the node next to it, you're going to see that it's 3,788,800 tries, and this one is the same. Actually, these are both liars, funny enough. They're both, this one lying is actually lying. If I turn this off, maybe, no. Anyway, this is actually 3,788,000 when we collapse it down. Okay, so let's go forward here. So how would I do this? What did I do? And why did I do it, right? Well, now I'm going to freeze. Okay, what happened? Okay. So what I did is, this is just a TurboSmooth, but you'll see it's got two TurboSmooths. I went over this in class a little bit last week, or on the previous class. But let's take a look and see what it's actually doing. I'm going to turn off the wireframes here. Oh, there's one more thing that I want to do. Okay, so the other thing I want to show you is real quick. I want to show you how to do shortcuts for stuff, because there's a shortcut for something I want to do in here just to make my life a little bit easier for us. So I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to hide these heavy ones right here. Probably have to do this in 2 videos, but right quick, what you do is you come to Customize User Interface. And inside of here, you're going to find all your hotkeys, and you can even change your quads, which is the right-click menu, and all this stuff too. And I come to think of it, I think they don't work on the new version. I'm going to put it in here, and if it doesn't work, then I'll remake this part of it. You know what? No, I'm going to figure that out. I'm just cutting this out. So the first thing we need to do, first thing we're going to do is the TurboSmooth version. So the final version of what we want is a high-res version that has those border edges on it, like we saw in the box, the support edges. But really all we want is a consistent shape, and we need to get a consistent shape, we need a hard edge on these pieces right here. So really it doesn't matter how we get it, it just depends on what your preference. For me, I usually do it in ZBrush, but I want to make sure you understand how to do it in this, because there's going to be a way to do it. Even actually, we may do more, and I may start doing more inside of here. I'm going to do this with, we'll call this Turbo, and I'll just call it Turbo. And we're going to call this one Open Sub. There's actually another way that I learned today that kind of works, but it's more complicated from when the version that somebody showed it on was different than the version that we have now, so it's a different tool a little bit, so I need to figure that out before I show it. I'm going to make both of these different so we can tell what they are a little bit more. I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to change this color to like gray. And then I'm going to, apparently did it the wrong one, so I'm going to grab this one and attach it here. So, okay, so let me hide these again. Oh wait, these are the new ones, that's right. Okay, so here's the low res. We'll do this one first. I'm going to hide everything but that one. Okay. So if I do this, I can look at my low res. And if I take a look at it, what I need to do in this case is I'm going to control how the smoothing groups work, or how the TurboSmooth works by smoothing groups. So it's kind of the same thing we did when we tried to use smoothing groups on a box. I'm going to change this angle to like 10. Just realize that if you come up and mess with your mesh after the fact, you're going to have to do a little bit of retweaking with your smoothing groups, which is fine. I just don't want you to get frustrated and realize that all that work is gone. Sometimes it goes away, but this is so fast that it's not a big deal. First, I'm going to take everything. Hold on. Apparently, there we go. I'm going to take everything and I'm going to clear all, so I have no smoothing groups. So I'm going to grab this one and that one because I don't have ignore back facing on, and I'm going to add them, give them a smoothing group, and then I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to give it a smoothing group. I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to give it a smoothing group. This one and this one will get the same smoothing group, and I probably need to come back and fix that one. That's fine. We'll give this one a 4. No. Let's see if I do it up here. I hate that it gives it 1. What if I did? It does that way too. So I'm just going to give it a 9, just because I know it's not being used. Then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to start turning these off. Actually, I'm going to turn off my wireframe so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. I'm going to grab this one and this one. I'm going to turn on the ignore back facing at this point. This one and this one. And then I'm going to give them nothing. Turn off the 9 if it's on there, and 10. So I got that. I'm going to grab this one, and it's set to 2, so I'm going to give it a 5. Because the big thing is I don't want them to touch up here. So I want all 4 of these, if I look at it from the top, this one, this one, this one, and this one to all be different. Ignore me grabbing the base when I did that. So this one's 5, this one's 2, this one's 3, this is 1, so we do have a space for 4. There we go. What I was going to show you is a shortcut, so we can just push a button. It'll just automatically assign a smoothing group to it, but it was not in the cards. So, interestingly, oh, I guess it's there. I just didn't notice it. Okay, so those are all done. Then I'm going to come to this one, and I'm going to add a new smoothing group, which I don't want to use 1. I don't want to use any of them on the blade, so I'm just going to be safe and go all the way out to 6. Now, there's nothing touching these, so I can come in here. I'm going to start turning off the ignore angle again and grab them. I'm just going to grab all that and say 1 because I know it's not touching a 1. And then I'm going to come underneath it and grab this one and say 2 because I know it's not touching a 2. Then I'm going to go back to the front menu and I'm going to grab this one like that and make sure it's going all the way around. Yep. And then I'm going to change this back to 1 because I know this is touching 2 only so far. So I'm going to come to here and it's going to grab everything in that area. And I'm going to go back and say that this is 1, 2, 1. I'm going to say 3 just to make sure. Okay. Then I'm going to grab all of these like this, and 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 like this, like this, and like this, and like this. And I'm going to go front Z. I'm going to add a 1 because I know it's not touching a 1. So look, it's still working good. I'm going to come to this and this one, and I'm going to grab the tops of these. So this one here, make sure I'm in the front viewport so I don't have an angle hiding me. Grab all of these like this. Make sure I didn't grab anything by accident. If I did, I can just come fix it. And go back to front, Z. Zoom in, grab this one, and this one, and this one. Like that. Okay. And then I'm going to say 4, 5. Sure. So those are safe. Now I need to grab all of these, so I'm going to change this to 15 to see if I can get a little bit better of a grab here. Now how about 30? Well, that's too much. There we go. 30. Nope. You suck. Okay, ignore back facing 30. 30, 30, 30. These are not touching because I'm going to every place I want a hard edge, I want to put a smoothing group. So smoothing group. And the only trick is, and if you push Q, you don't have the move tool by accident. You don't want to have them touching. That's the only thing that matters. They aren't touching. So this one, this one, this one, this one. So since none of them are touching anywhere, I'm going to say, let me see what this one is. 1. So we'll say 2. Because we know it's not touching. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's because I grabbed more than 1. Why are you? Oh, because of the 30. 5, okay. I'm going to grab this one. Now, see, these don't even have smoothing groups on them at all, but I still want to grab them and put smoothing groups on them. Believe it or not, no smoothing groups is like not very helpful either. So I'm going to add, take off 2, whatever 2 that is, and then put 3. So I know this is 1, this is 2, this is 1, this is 3. I want to do this side here. Now, if I had the button, I wouldn't even have to look because it would auto do it for me. And I don't really care what the numbers are. The only thing that matters is the 2 that are next to each other aren't touching. That's the only thing. And I need to unselect that one. So we can definitely say 3 again. There we go. You don't lose any corners. If there's 2 that are touching that are the same, you'd see that. It'd look like that. That's not what we want. There. See how it is a corner? Okay. Looks like we have some issues here. This one's a 3 and this is a 2. That means this one's the problem. Okay, so 3 is not working for these. I didn't notice it before, so I need to take this off. 3 and this side 2, because I know that I did the same number for both. Because see how it's smoothing it and giving this weird lighting or shadowing thing? That's because they're sharing the same number. There. So I've got both those set. Oh, missed one. Dang it, stop it. I'm going to change that to 4. There we go. Now we're back in on business. Okay, so next one, front Z, left actually, we'll go to left. And I'm going to try and, I'm going to hide this. Oops, looks like I missed one up there. I'm going to go as thin as I can, which isn't very thin apparently. That sucks too. Okay, we'll just have to do it in chunks. So I'll grab this, come on, this one to there. I've done this like 3 times today just to make sure I had it all set up, so sometimes it gets annoying. This one. Okay. And of course, back facing. See, I've done that 3 times today too. So let's say left. I'm just gonna try and do it all the way down like that. Control all the way up like that. So if I grab them all, I missed one set of them. Left Z. Down all the way up. Okay, I'm gonna change that one from number 1, whatever. Hopefully I didn't grab anything by accident. Easy to fix if I did. And I'm gonna change that to 8 because I don't even think I've used it, but I'm tired of making the mistake. So I'm gonna click on this, turn on my angle again, turn on ignore back facing so I don't grab anything by accident. Grab this one, this one, this one, that one, that one, and that one, and that one, that one, that one, and I'm going to say 7. And then I'm going to grab these, and it's grabbing it all because it's 30 degrees selection. Okay, so 30 degree selection, I'm going to turn off 2, and I'm going to actually change this degree to 10, or actually 1, because I want all of these to be different, so then I'm going to push auto smooth. And of course it's auto saving right now, and it's a little bit longer because of the other ones, but now they all have their own individuals, as you can tell. Hopefully it did use number 1 though, and 7. So probably one of those sides of the gems is gonna blend into. Okay. So it looks good. So I'll go to the front, zoom back out, and then I'm gonna grab all of these and all of these like that. And I'm gonna say, let's do 17. It's an odd number that I know that I haven't used. Grab this one and say, oh, let's ignore back facing. So let's do that again. Grab this one and grab this one. Yeah, ignore back facing is a shortcut I should make. Turn it off, turn it on. So they're both using 17. Grab this one and say 18. Make sure it went all the way around. And this is smooth now, so we know it did. Grab this one with ignore back facing, so we'll grab this one. And we'll say 19. And we'll grab this one and we'll say 19. And then we can come back down to here. Then I'm going to do 1 on this one because I know it's safe. So all of these are set now. More or less, I think I got them all good. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is turn that off so I'm not in a sub-object mode. And then I'm going to put on the TurboSmooth. And then when I put on the TurboSmooth, we get the expected results, right? But I'm going to change that to smoothing groups. And suddenly, it doesn't look like anything happened, really. There's some weirdness. We're going to get that. That's fine. Let's turn up this iteration to 4. Actually, let's turn it up to 3. Now what we have is this really, if we look at the model, this really high-res version. So what we do in this case is add another TurboSmooth to it, like that, and now we get that soft edge that we're looking for. And if you do less here, you get a softer edge up above. And then you can even add 2 here. But that's all we're looking for at this point, is some kind of smooth edges on these parts, because there's, like I've said before, there's no such thing as a super sharp edge like that we get by default. So that's one way of doing it. The second way of doing it is just a little bit different, and I'll show you in the next video.